What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. It is Tuesday, so that means we got an awesome live show planned for you guys right here on the Ravens Rundown. We got producer Nick Lopez with me in the building. 4 awesome segments that we've got for you guys today. We're going a little bit longer today. One more segment than usual. I'm about to go on a little bit of a vacation, enjoy myself, enjoy some time with family. So I got to get some extra cuts out so we don't leave you guys just bone dry next week. So starting up, new trade rumors on Mark Andrews. That's what we're going to be discussing first off on today's show. After the Dolphins traded away Jalen Ramsey, they added in Jonnu Smith. Could they be wanting a new tight end? I know they signed Darren Waller. You don't have to tell me, but he's 32 years old and hasn't played a full season since 2023. So that could end up disastrous. One more move for Baltimore. ESPN listed one move each team should make over the next couple of months of the offseason. I'll tell you what they got for Baltimore. And then after that, we're talking about 5 players that it is now or never for this upcoming season. I'm going to see if you guys agree or disagree with me. And we're going to wrap this up the same way we always do. My favorite segment, your favorite segment, our favorite segment, our live Ravens Rundown Mailbag. Your questions, my answers, and if you guys want to know how to get on the show, all you got to do is be a little bit like D1 Ravens Glazer. Be a little bit like Mike Nintendo Master, Jameer Castro. Use hashtag Ravens in the chat or super chat to get into today's Q&A. If you super chat, you get to skip the line, guarantee your spot on the show. $1, $2, $3 super chat does not matter. Any dollar amount guarantees your spot. Or if you don't have the money to donate today, that is perfectly fine. We totally get it. Just use hashtag Ravens in the chat down below and get your questions in. That way we can use our software to pull them up. Mike says, at least I'm not blocked like 2 weeks ago. Who blocked you 2 weeks ago, Mike? What the hell? Do I need to have a conversation? Kai Central says we are not trading Mark Andrews. MacMan saying go flock. Hey, Joey, did you block me 2 weeks ago? Mike, I did not block you 2 weeks ago. Asher Edits, great question. Do you have a good chance of going to the Super Bowl? I mean, technically, if you look at the odds of it, we have as good a chance as any. But odds are odds, so they're not legitimate. I'm going to ask you guys the same question I asked in the live chat, but I want to see who's voting which way. Because right now, yes is 38%, no is 62%. If Baltimore got a 2026 third-round pick, should they trade Mark Andrews? Give me a yes. Give me a no in the comment section down below. Attendance Squad said, hey, Joe, it's been a while. I've been on vacation for the last 2 months. Happy to be back. Attendance Squad, where have you been? Wait, is it you, the other? Weren't you overseas? I'm pretty sure you were overseas. Let me know in the comment section down below. Ravens will go to the Super Bowl without Mark Andrews, says Brandon86. It said a mod or creator blocked me, so I don't know who did it. Well, it wasn't me, Mike. I can promise you that. Brandon said, yeah, it was probably Jack, who's not here today, so we can make fun of him. Brandon said Ravens should trade Mark Andrews. D1 Ravens Glazer said yes. Kai says maybe round 2. Kai, hate to break it to you, you're not going to get a second-round pick for Mark Andrews. They got to refill, so they need more draft picks. Tyman says yes. Jameer says yes. JJ says yes. Lots of yeses. With that, we're going to bring on our producer for today's show, one Mr. Nick Lopez. Lopez, how we doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Great.
Doing great?
We're vibing over here.
We're vibing over here, says Lopez. There we go.
That's how we're going for on a Tuesday.
All we're doing. Is this your first time on Ravens Live?
I think so.
You think so? Well, welcome. Happy that you are here. So are the other 38 people that are hanging out with us on today's stream. I want to know, we got the 4th of July coming up. One of my favorite holidays. Lopez, what will you be doing on the 4th? Also, I'm still on cam right. You can see 2 of me. There we go. I didn't say he was the best producer. What are you doing 4th of July, Lopez?
Probably just drink like an insane amount. Like my liver is gonna hate me come Saturday?
Yep, Friday.
No, my liver's gonna hate me Saturday.
Liver's gonna hate
we're
you
gonna be feeling good Friday.
There we go. What's on 4th of July day? What's the drink of choice? Like,
Ooh.
does it change based on what you're
I think
doing?
it's probably going to alternate throughout the day.
Okay.
Because I know going home Thursday night.
Oh, you are. That's awesome.
Yeah, going home Thursday night. Probably started off light, couple beers in the morning.
Okay.
And then, we're having some people over for a big barbecue. That's probably when the liquor starts flowing a little bit more.
Go. What kind of liquor?
I'm a whiskey guy.
You're a whiskey guy. There we go. I will be in Montana with my in-laws, with my mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, and Kennedy, of course, my wife. My father-in-law is a big Crown guy. Big Crown and Coke guy, so I'm sure I'm going to be drinking a lot of Crown and Coke.
He has great taste. I'm a Crown and Sprite. Crown Apple and Sprite.
Okay.
Great.
Great combo.
On the golf course.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, so we're going to be hanging out in Montana, going to do some hiking. All that to say, we will not be live next Tuesday. So if you're waiting for us, we're not going to be live, by the way. But y'all let me know what you're doing for the 4th of July. D1 says, 4th of July is so chaotic here. Cops had to get called at the beach and probably illegal explosives. Dang, that's crazy, bro. Attendance Squad said, also, we visited Europe. Yeah, I was in Asia visiting India. Also, we visited Europe, Italy, Austria, and Poland. Dang, Attendance Squad, that is pretty electric. Happy you're back, and hope you guys had a lot of fun. Brandon said, if we want good players, we got to draft high. Not wrong, Brandon. Not wrong at all. Mike says, hanging out with family. Sounds like you guys got a lot of great plans. Make sure you guys like today's video, okay? If you are excited about the 4th of July, if you love the USA, if you love the United States of America, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you don't like the USA, you can still hit that thumbs up button because we can all have a lot of fun watching some fireworks, hanging out. Time in the Buckeye says having a cookout. Dogs and burgers. That's all I want on 4th of July. It's funny because I'll take a burger over a hot dog on a cookout any day of the week, unless it's 4th of July. Then I'm crushing hot dogs.
Do you have like your own impromptu hot dog eating contest? Do you like to see how many you can down?
No, but I will say I worked at a summer camp called Kanakuk. I was a counselor for 2 summers. Then my last summer, I was a programs director, and so I was in charge of all the parties. And every year I was there for 4th of July, I played Joey Chestnut, for the kids, because it was a kids camp. And so for 3 summers in a row, 4th of July, I was just stuffing myself all day long. It was pretty brutal. Hashtag Ravens trademark for late second rounder could steal someone good with cap space. How'd you know I traveled overseas as attendant? I'm pretty sure you told me when you were in there a couple of weeks ago. Papa says, eating awesome food, having a few adult beverages. Hey, you have to try Vanilla Crown. That's good, says Brandon86. Brandon, I'll make sure that's on the docket this next. Oh, dude, I love DP. I like a little, dude, I love vanilla in a Dr. Pepper. That might be the go-to. Joe, I have a deal for you if you want to hear it, says Mike. Yeah, I'll hear it, Mike. What's the deal? You let me know. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button. Let's try to get to 30 likes. Why can't we keep Mark this year? Probably last year we can get production out of him and then let him walk. Why trade him? That's fair, Papa. My thoughts are if someone overpays for Mark Andrews out of desperation, then maybe you trade him then. Because you got to get a compensatory draft pick for him whenever he signs somewhere else. But you're going to have to wait to get that comp pick in 2027. And that's probably going to be somewhere around the fourth rounder. If you get a 3rd rounder for trading him, in my opinion, I wouldn't hate that. Alrighty. We're about to jump into our first segment coming up today. What's the deal, Mike? Yeah, let us know. You said you got a deal for us. So, okay, Joey, if the Ravens win 11-plus games, you will wear a Ravens jersey for the playoffs. Deal, Mike. That's a deal, my friend.
I'm not seeing the downside.
We'll shake on it. Boom, boom, boom.
You know what? They don't get to 11.
The cool thing is right here at Chat Sports, they offer us, before the season, they're like, hey, if you guys want jerseys, y'all let us know. We'll get you a jersey ordered for your streams. Well, last year, I wasn't the Ravens host when they asked that question. And so I didn't get my jersey request in. It was, of course, Tyler Jones. But now I am, and so I'll be able to get my jersey in by that time. I feel like I just got to go Lamar. You got to, right? What would you go?
I know this won't work for everybody, but like if I'm working with Trizzy and they're like, Lopez, do you want a Jersey's producer? I would get 4 on the front, Loco on the back.
4 Loco. That's pretty great. If nobody knows, Lopez's nickname here is Loco Lopez because he loves 4 Locos. That's just
There's some in the fridge right now.
You got how many?
There's one in our fridge right now. Like if you go in the kitchen, there's one in the fridge.
He's insane. He's a freak of nature. Alrighty, enough chatting. Let's get down to business. Let's go with our first segment of the day. We're talking a little bit of a Mark Andrews trade, him possibly being on the trade block. We got 4 great segments coming up for you guys. This is going to be the first. Don't go anywhere. Keep hanging out. Keep sticking with us. We got an awesome live show for you guys planned. Thanks so much for all of you guys who are here. Thanks so much for getting us to 30 likes. Keep liking today's video and share it with your friends as well so we can get some more people in here. Lopez, we ready to roll? Alrighty, let's do it. Our first segment coming at you right now. Hey, we don't have to. We're good to go. All right, now, first segment coming at you right now. We're going to answer this question on today's show. Could Mark Andrews be back on the trade block? If you didn't know, if you live under a rock, welcome back from living under that rock because yesterday the Miami Dolphins dealt tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Tom Pelissero shortly tweeted out after that, the Dolphins are now in conversations with multiple teams about acquiring a tight end after sending Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. Per sources, a wild start to the holiday week could get wilder. Now, I get what you're saying. You don't have to go in the comment section down below and type it out for me. I saw it as well. I get it. They added Darren Waller. Didn't even know that the Giants still owned his rights, but they traded, finalizing a trade with the Giants for former Pro Bowl tight end Darren Waller, who is coming out of retirement to play in Miami per sources. It's a fascinating twist for Waller, who retired last summer, and a new weapon for a team that just traded Jonnu Smith. So a lot of people might look at that and say, okay, they're done adding tight end. But I ask you, be for real. Like, serious. Waller is 32 years old and hasn't had a 600-plus yard season since 2021. Hasn't played in a season since 2023. And might I add again, he's 32 years old. So I still truly believe that even though they traded for Darren Waller from the New York Giants, they didn't have to give up much for him, obviously. I still think that Andrews, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, might be back on the trade block. We're going to break down what that looks like on today's show. Thank you so much for spending your day with us. But we're starting a new sub-battle in the month of July. This one is against the top dogs of the AFC, and I need you guys to let me know who runs it. Who runs the AFC? Is it the Ravens? Is it the Chiefs? Or is it Bills Breakdown? Well, one way I can know is if you guys help us win this sub battle this month, you can help me out by hitting that free big red subscribe button. Lock us in today. Help us prove that we're the top dogs of the AFC. Here was the trade that went down yesterday, a rare player-for-player trade. Obviously, you got some draft picks in there, 2 really good players the Steelers are getting with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, and the Dolphins got Minkah Fitzpatrick. You didn't come and hear me break this trade down, though, because I did it yesterday. So that's not what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about what that trade might mean and the fact that Miami could be looking for Mark Andrews. So why Andrews could be traded? I got 3 reasons for you. We're going to start with number 1. I would assume, just like I said on the top, just because they added Darren Waller, I don't think that means Miami is just done looking for tight end. Like, I don't think that because they added in a tight end out of retirement, they're just like, okay, like, we're good now. Doesn't make sense to me. Because you still have to look at that depth chart that they have. And you still got to realize that's probably not good enough. Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown, and now a 32-year-old just come out of retirement, Darren Waller? Like, let's be real. This is a JV unit. And I would know. I once played JV football. Now, I'm not saying that's like putting 9th grade me on this roster, but let's be real. It's pretty close. Like, that is not good enough for a tight end room in the National Football League, especially on a team with a coach like Mike McDaniel. That doesn't have that great of a defense, especially now with losing Jalen Ramsey, and is going to have to score 50 points a game if they want to win any kind of football games. It's crystal ball time. You predict it for me. Will the Dolphins try to trade for Mark Andrews? Not will the Ravens trade him. Will the Dolphins try to? You let me know in the comment section down below by giving me a yes or a no. Another reason I feel like why Andrews could be traded is you got to remember, throw it back to April, throw it back to the draft. He was shopped then. Like, he was pretty much shopped the entire offseason. We all remember talking about this tweet from Cole Jackson. The streets have indicated that there's been an uptick in trade interest in tight end Mark Andrews after Evan Ingram signed a deal. Andrews is due a roster bonus on Monday. Regardless, expect the path forward to be solved soon. Now, obviously, a trade didn't end up happening, but Cole Jackson has some pretty great sources, and I truly believe him when he says there's been an uptick in trade interest after the Evan Ingram deal. And then we got to remember what all the NFL insiders were saying around the time of the NFL draft. Ian Rappaport said, I may give it that it is very much up in the air. I wouldn't be surprised, based on what I'm hearing, if some team does come in and make an offer the Ravens can't refuse. Then, of course, Adam Schefter added his own little nugget. I wonder if there's a team that is looking at draft prospect like Tyler Warren, a Colson Loveland, and doesn't get him. Turns around and says to Baltimore, we'll give you a third-round pick for Mark Andrews. So the insiders, they talked about it. This was a legitimate thing that happened. This was a legitimate interest from other teams in the National Football League. But you also have to remember, Eric DeCosta at one point, it felt like he gave a public goodbye to Mark Andrews. You remember when he said that at the Combine? He was asked about him, and he said, I never know what's going to happen. I would never want to say this or that, but I can tell you this. Andrews is a warrior, and he's played his butt off for us. His competitiveness, his talent, his attitude, his leadership is so valued here, and he's a great player. I think we're in the business of keeping as many great players as we can. He went on to say a ton of different cryptic things that it kind of made it seem like he was fattening the pig before the slaughter, might I add. Nobody ended up giving Baltimore what they were hoping for, right? I think they were truly hoping for a third-round pick. I believe that some of the teams probably offered a fifth, or at least maybe not officially offered that, but kind of was like, hey, under the table, would you take a fifth? But nobody was back then as desperate as I feel like Miami is right now, or how Miami might be when they realize that Darren Waller, whether it's before the season starts or in the season, is probably not going to pan out. You want Andrews to keep Baltimore, okay? Let me know how you're voting by liking today's video. If you want that to happen, hit that thumbs up button and let me know if you want 89 to stay in the Charm City. Coming up next, we got one more reason that Mark Andrews could be traded. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to break it all down for you in just a couple of seconds. But before that, if you want the jersey of the guy I'm rocking today on my shirt, go to chatsports.com/Lamar jersey and get yours today. You can get it in purple. You could get it in black. They got tons of different sizes. These things are flying off the shelf. They've been our highest seller right here on Fanatics for the entirety of this offseason. So get yours quickly. Get it now. You can support our friends over at Fanatics. You can support the Baltimore Ravens. And when you make a purchase with our link, we get a little bit of the proceeds. Helps us keep the lights on. Helps us hire more people. Get this operation keep on going. So chatsports.com/Lamar jerseys where you need to go. Of course, that link's in the comments and description of today's video. The last reason why I believe that Andrews could be traded, and I think that this is the biggest reason of all of them, why they'd be okay with parting from Mark Andrews, is because they're very confident in Isaiah Likely. Flat out, plain and simple. And I have a hard time giving a tight end 1 or tight end 2 spot to either of these guys because I really feel like it's tight end 1A and tight end 1B, okay? But for sake of how last season went, we're going to put Mark in that tight end 1 spot. But I would not be shocked one bit if halfway through the year we're looking at this team and we're saying, you know what? Isaiah Likely is easily the tight end 1 on this roster now. The two ships have passed each other. It's moved from one to the other. This franchise has been lucky with a lot of really great tight ends. Pitta, Heap, Andrews. Now it might be Likely's turn. The good thing is Harbaugh sees that for him as well. Remember when he said, I want to see Likely be an all-pro? That's something he wants to see. That would be my goal for him. And here's the best part. And he's capable of it. John Harbaugh believes he's capable of being an all-pro. And Ryan Mink documented very well how great he was doing in minicamp. Said Likely made some impressive grabs during Wednesday's practice, showing that his superb hands have perhaps gotten even stickier this offseason. Then back in OTAs, tight end Isaiah Likely made 2 long receptions down the sideline from one Mr. Cooper Rush. He's been balling. He balled at the end of last season after kind of having a middle of the season. Was great in the playoffs, and he's been balling so far during minicamp. It seems like he's gotten even better throughout the entirety of this offseason. And you also have to remember the fact, right, that both of these guys are going into contract years. These are last years of their deal. They're playing either for an extension with Baltimore or for a new deal with a new team. That's going to be a big decision for this front office this next season. And additionally, if they do end up trading Mark Andrews, whether it's now, whether it's in the season, I mean, it'd be a little bit less if it's in the season, but from now to the beginning of the season, Baltimore could save $11 million, okay? If the Dolphins are desperate enough to send a third for Mark, I would do it. And I know, again, they added Darren Waller, but I legitimately could see this as something that could happen. Whether it's over the next couple of months, maybe after training camp, they realize Darren Waller isn't who they thought he would be. Maybe it's halfway through the season at the trade deadline, and they're just one missing tight end away. Maybe that's Mark Andrews. What say you guys? What's the % chance the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Scale it for me 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. Weigh in and give me your answer. And while you're in the comments, you'll be able to see the links to my social media. You can find my Twitter there. You can find my Instagram, or you can look me up at Joey Petersen8 on both platforms. Make sure to give me a follow there. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Alrighty, what do you guys say? What say you? What's the % chance of Ravens trade Mark Andrews? I think it's sitting at if you asked me before the season, I think it's sitting at 7%. But if you ask me during the season, I think it's a 25% chance. I think there's a 25% chance it happens during the season. Lopez, what do you think?
I would say I would not be surprised if Mark Andrews is not on this roster come opening day.
Okay, so come week 1.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised. I'm higher on Isaiah Likely maybe than most people. And I think, I don't want to say Mark Andrews is old and washed, but I think his best seasons are kind of behind him.
I would agree. And he had a phenomenal year last year. But he's 29. He's only getting older. And I do think his best years are behind him as well. Maybe this is his last of his great years. Maybe this would be the perfect exit for Mark Andrews and the Baltimore Ravens. But, if you can get a third-round pick, if you can get a better pick than what you would get from a compensatory draft pick if he signed somewhere else in free agency, then in my opinion, I feel like you got to do it. Okay, we're not going to waste your time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get into our next segment, which is the discussion of the Baltimore Ravens possibly making one more move. Make sure to stay tuned. We got that coming up for you. Lopez, are we ready to roll? All right, we're ready to roll, so we're going to get into that right now. Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Joey Petersen. You're watching the Ravens Rundown. We got a ton to discuss on today's program. First off, are the Ravens making one more offseason move? ESPN released an article and saying each move they believe all 32 teams should make before the start of the NFL season. And then on the back half, I'm going to talk about one player that I am extremely excited for, and I promise you, after you watch it, you're going to be pumped up for him as well. I want to keep improving right here on the channel, okay? And I need you guys to help me do so. The most likes we got on a video in all of June was 393. That's a good number. I need that to be better. So on today's video, I need you guys to help me out. Go ahead, get down there, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get up to 400 likes. Alrighty, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. So happy you are with us today. ESPN, one more offseason move that each team should make. But of course, Here at the Ravens Rundown. What did they say to Baltimore? Well, their one move was, of course, extending two-time MVP quarterback, hopefully Super Bowl winner one day, Lamar Jackson. This is a move that we've discussed a lot over the show because over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of different rumors, news items that have come out that, have kind of been pointing towards that happening somewhat soon. And I think it should be something that happens somewhat soon because of the player that he is and because of the leader that he is. And no, the playoff success necessarily hasn't been there yet, but I expect that to come some point very, very soon. Here's what Aaron Schatz had to say on the move. My original suggestion for the Ravens was that they sign cornerback Jair Alexander, but they went ahead and did that on a one-year deal. So let's strike up a deal with Jackson, Alexander's old Louisville teammate. Extension talks with Jackson are in an introductory stage, according to general manager Eric DaCosta. Jackson is signed through 2027, but the two-time MVP is now 10th among quarterbacks in annual average salary. An extension would make him happy and open up a ton of cap space for Baltimore to use in 2026 and in 2027. Jackson is set to have a cap number of over $74 million in 2026. First off, Aaron, I couldn't agree more with you for everything you just said and also the financial part of it as well, which we have just kind of recently talked about. A $74 million cap hit, not only in 2026, but in 2027. So if this deal is going to get done, I guarantee you they're going to make it get done before that comes to be at the end of this next season. And when you look at the highest paid quarterbacks, first off, it's a little bit jarring because you kind of forgot Dak Prescott was making $60 million a year. But you got to go down the list pretty far until you find Lamar Jackson, a guy who passed for 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions. And I know that we're all watching this saying, you know what, I wouldn't mind making $52 million a year. I'm right there with you. But Lamar Jackson sees that list that we just showed you, okay? He knows that list as well. And he knows that he should be at the top of it. He looks at guys like Trevor Lawrence, who are close to the top. Dak Prescott, who's at the very top. Joe Burrow, a guy who he beats in the regular season every single year. And I guarantee you, he's thinking, you know what? I deserve to be right up there. What say you guys? Should Lamar Jackson be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? If you think yes, go ahead and like today's video. If you think no, get down in the comment section and comment why not. Don't hold back. Tell me how you really feel. Just let me know by liking today's video or getting in that comment section. I can already hear the complaints. But Joey, he's not a team player if he takes somewhere close to $60 million a year. What about other extensions on the team? Like, he's so selfish for doing that. He doesn't care about winning. He only cares about himself. He only cares about the money he makes. I can hear the complaining from here. Chill out. Okay, calm down. Take a deep breath. The salary cap every single year over the last 3 decades has consistently gone up. And guess what? It's going to continue to. And it has gone up exponentially over the last decade and a half. Let's throw it back to 2011. And I don't mean to date myself, but I was a crisp 11 years old when the salary cap was $120.375 million. Then you saw it in 9 years' time expand $78 million to 2020 and go to $198 million. And we've seen in the last 5 years, from 2020, it go all the way up to this year at $295 million. There's a reason that players have been making more money. It's because they're being able to be paid more money. And the thing about it is it's only going to continue to go up, and there's people that expect a massive jump in this over the next couple of seasons. Brett Coleman tweeted this out back in February, and we talked about it when it happened. He said the salary cap is going to explode again, and it's all because of this change in how Nielsen measures ratings. Starting this year, they're leading into using data directly from smart TV manufacturers to measure viewing habits and additional to the traditional at-home panel method. So the way they did it before basically was the way that they've always done it. They do it based on cable, at-home panel method, thing like that. They have never taken into account the smart TV, YouTube TV, which I don't know about you guys, but that's how I watch all my NFL games, is on streaming services. Now they're going to take that into account. So when they negotiate a new deal for their media rights, that deal's only going to go up, which means teams now will be able to pay their players even more money. My take on this is, like, at the end of the day, I just want them to pay him what he deserves and get back to business. I don't want this to be a whole thing, because we all remember a few years ago when this was anything everybody could talk about. This was the only thing that was on our minds. This was the only thing that we worried about because it was such a worrisome situation. And I don't want to have to stress out again this time around. I don't want to go on Twitter and see Lamar Jackson tweeting that he's requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens. I don't want to see him on Twitter saying that they only offered him $133 million for 3 years. That's not good enough for me. And sure, he's a different player this time around. He's a better player at this point of the negotiations. But still, that happened before. I don't want that to happen again. The good thing is I don't think Lamar Jackson's taken that much into it anyway. Jeff Zreback tweeted this when Lamar spoke at the media during minicamp. So Jackson said he doesn't want to talk about his contract situation. Now, I think it's different. That than, what it was the last time. I think he's not wanting to talk to the media about it because he doesn't want to be a distraction. Like, I don't think he doesn't want to talk to it because he's upset about it. So, if you feel that way, I think it's fine. Predict it in the comment section for me. When will the Ravens extend Lamar Jackson? When do you think it's happening? Make the call. Guess the month. You can even guess the day. I don't care. Just comment your answer down below. All right, coming up now, we got one player I am really excited to talk about. Well, actually, it's not now. It's coming up in just a little bit. Before we do that, I got to tell you about our awesome friends over at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/Lamar jersey. Get your Lamar Jackson jersey today. If you want him to get paid, just like I want him to get paid, you go ahead and snag that jersey, because when he does, he's going to be here for a very, very, very long time. Chatsports.com/Lamar jersey is where you need to go. When you make a purchase using that link, not only, does the proceeds go to our friends over at Fanatics, they come to us as well, which helps us hire additional people, grow this operation right here at Chat Sports, help us improve our graphics, our cameras, our lights, everything right here in this studio so we can keep bringing you guys daily content. Chatsports.com/Lamar jersey is where you need to go. Let's talk about it. The one player I'm really excited about, and the guy that I hope after I'm done talking about him, you're going to be really excited about him too, is wide receiver Devontae Walker. Now, I'm not going to lie. After Devontae Walker's rookie year, I was not very excited about him. I thought he was, I don't want to say a bust is so dramatic. I'm not going to say that I thought he was a bust, but I will say he had a disappointing rookie year in the National Football League. But everything coming out of minicamp, buckle up, because he could have a big sophomore season coming. Tony Lombardi wrote on Devontae Walker saying, "These days, the practice field's rising star is Devontae Walker. The former North Carolina Tar Heel is now in his second season and is playing faster while expanding his route tree. Given his height, verticality, and catch radius, Walker could emerge as a big play red zone receiver." And if that's how he emerges on this team, I would love that. Lamar Jackson has never really had that in his career. Now, I'll admit to you, DeAndre Hopkins, I'm expecting to be that receiver for Lamar this year. But if you could have two of them, one of them a much younger version as well, in Devontae Walker, who can be that for years and years to come, sign me up tomorrow. And we got to remember who we're dealing with here from the athletic standpoint, okay? If you look back at his relative athletic score just about a year and a half ago when he ran at the Combine in 2024, he scored a 9.88 on a scale of 1 to 10. He ran a 4.36 40-yard dash, a vertical of 40.5, a broad jump of 11 feet. This dude is a freak. If you could just get him the ball consistently, I guarantee you he can make plays in the National Football League. So let's get to know him a little bit more. 6'1", 191 pounds. He's not a big guy. He's not your Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss type wide receiver. I feel like he's kind of built a little bit like Rashad Bateman, just a little bit taller. 1,620 yards and 18 touchdowns in his final 2 seasons in college football. Of course, he transferred to UNC after his sophomore season, missed a third of their season in 2023 because of NCAA rules, which was absolutely ridiculous at the time. I don't know if you remember that. He had to sit out 4 games while the NCAA processed his it was crazy. It was ludicrous, but he still ended up having almost 700 yards in 8 games played. And John Harbaugh talked about Devontae Walker and said every day, this was during minicamp, all he does is show up and go 100 miles an hour. And for a guy who's still that young, that's what you want. You don't want those guys who are still that young to be coming out and slacking off. You want to hear the head coach saying, you know what? He gives his all every single play on the practice field. And I don't know if you guys kind of made this connection as well, but that reminded me, that quote, of Hall of Fame wide receiver Michael Irvin. Won 2 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys, 3 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys in the mid-'90s. And Troy Aikman spoke on his teammate, and he said one of the reasons that Michael and I got to be so good is that he practiced like it was the Super Bowl every single day. Then you're not wasting repetitions on the practice field. And I get that. That's a lofty comparison. I'm not comparing Devontae Walker to Michael Irvin and saying they're going to have the same trajectory of career and he's going to make it into the Hall of Fame. All I'm saying is that the great ones, the great wide receivers, the Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame wide receivers like Michael Irvin ran every single rep in practice like it was the Super Bowl. And right now, coming from John Harbaugh, that looks to be exactly what Devontae Walker is doing. Now, he had a very interesting 2024. A very interesting 2024. Only 20 snaps played, 2 targets, 1 catch. The catch was a touchdown, which was very, very electric in that New York Giants game. But still, he wasn't utilized heavily. And I feel like a great step up from him from last year, this year, is 400 yards. I'd be excited if he gave me 400 this season. I don't need 700, 800. I'm not expecting that. You have Derrick Henry. You have Mark Andrews. You have Isaiah Likely. You have Rashad Bateman. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have so many weapons. There's only one football. There's only so many yards the team can get. If he can give me 400, I would be so happy. Make sure you got me on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I tweet about the Ravens every day on Twitter. I post more, family, my dog, my wife stuff on Instagram. Feel free to follow me there as well. Most important thing is that you're subscribed to the channel, though. You can do it right now. Do it today. All you got to do is hit that big red sub button and join us for daily coverage of your favorite team in purple and black. There we go, Lopez. When will the Ravens extend Lamar Jackson? I got some guesses in the comment section. I see one from D1 says 2028 July. I hope it's not then, because then that means that 2 years went on with him having a $74 million cap hit, which I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in that at all.
I know I can't afford that.
Do you think Lamar Jackson should have won MVP this year, Lopez? I'm only asking that. I'm not trying to start anything. Lopez is new to the channel. We got to get his opinions. We got to hear from him.
I think him and Allen, both of them have a great case. I think the problem with Lamar, not even a problem, you see in the NBA a lot, voter fatigue.
Yes.
I think people were tired of giving it to Lamar. Because if that was the case, Tom Brady would have 6 or 7 of them. Yep. LeBron would be a 7-8-time MVP.
Yeah.
People are just tired of it.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I think that's exactly what happened. That's why I called him the Joel Embiid of the NFL. Josh Allen, that is, not Lamar Jackson. Because
that's not a comparison I would want.
No, because, look at Joel. Like, he got the MVP that year just pretty much because everybody was tired of voting for Jokic. Mm-hmm. Jokic was the better player that year. Lamar was the better player last year over Allen, but Allen, of course, got that MVP trophy, which, obviously it doesn't mean much at the end of the day, but I wanted to see him get it.
Honestly, I think you can say the same thing about this year with Shea and Jokic.
Yeah, I do as well. I said, I don't know if you heard me in the office, but after Shea officially got it, I think I said out loud, I might have even tweeted it, that this was the worst year for MVPs ever with Josh Allen and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I think it was a very down year for MVPs. Mm-hmm. So
it was more people looking at how your team did instead of full-on
Yeah.
stats versus stats. Because if you break
100%.
down the stats, Jokic did everything better except scoring, and then Lamar Jackson did everything better except
Nothing.
exactly.
It was better at
His
everything.
team
Except
record wasn't
rushing
as good.
touchdowns. Josh Allen had more rushing touchdowns, but he also had 9 rushing touchdowns that were QB sneaks at the 1.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy, man. Mr. Fred said, no trade, we need Mark. Christian said 2026 offseason, so next year. Papa said absolutely should have won MVP. I can't even believe he didn't. He had a passer rating 120.4, 4th highest ever, and lost. Raven76B Moore says, yes, the all-white uniforms are fire. I don't know where that came from, but I like it, my friend. I like it. Oh, wait, Papa Shook said, I think we go all whites for week 1 in Buffalo. I like that question from Attendance Squad. Make sure that one gets in, Lopez, about the stats and then the uniform combination. Okay, coming up next, we got Now or Never. I'm going to give you 5 Ravens players that I feel like are having make or break seasons in 2025. And then stick around, don't go anywhere, because after that, we're going to dive into our mailbag. Your questions, my answers, all right here on the Ravens Rundown. It's going to be an absolute blast. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Lopez, do you think we can make that bigger? Yeah, if you don't mind. That'd be great. Thank you. Say that again?
So I don't know what happened to it. All the other ones.
Boom.
Just being weird.
There we go. Okay, you ready to roll?
I believe so.
Let's do it, brother. Okay, our third and second to last segment coming at you right now. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 Baltimore Ravens players that I believe 2025 is going to be a make or break season for them. Now, I'm not saying 5 players that I feel like if they don't perform well, they're going to get cut, they're going to get traded, they're going to lose their jobs. But it seems like this is now or never for 5 Ravens players. And we're going to start this off with Trenton Simpson, the linebacker going into his 3rd season with the Baltimore Ravens. And I hear what you're saying, okay? I get it, and I agree. This one definitely feels like the most obvious. When I was making this list at work today, scripting this video, Trenton Simpson was the first name that popped in my head. And it did not take very long to be that, okay? He was a 3rd-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And his season was so up and down in 2024. Does everybody remember the preseason where he was pretty much the green dot, right? He was pretty much Roquan Smith's role. He dominated those 3 games. He looked pretty good in the beginning of the season, but then nothing. Like absolutely nothing. 0 snaps in week 15. Mind you, these aren't tackles. These aren't drives. These are snaps. 0 in week 15. 6 in week 16. 4 in week 17. And then a goose egg in both of the playoff games. He didn't see the field in either playoff game. Zach Orr didn't believe he should see the field in either playoff game. Now, I will say, when you look at this room, I still think he's going to be the starter. And we talked a lot about the battle between him and Teddy Buchanan. Like, that's going to be a really, really good one. I think Trenton Simpson's going to win it just because I think he's got, the age over him. Teddy Buchanan's a rookie. I think next year, this position could be Teddy Buchanan's all he wants it to be. But regardless, this is going to be a massive, massive season for Trenton Simpson because he's going to have to prove to every single one of us, hey, I get it. Got benched last year, but this is my position. Make sure, if you guys are not yet, that you are subscribed to the channel. 56.5% of the watch time on our videos comes from you guys who are not subscribed. That's right. I, put the goggles on, put the lab coat, looked at the analytics. 43.5% of our watch time is from you who are subscribed. Shout out to you guys. I want to make that bottom number go up, that top number go down. And the way that happens is if you, who have not subscribed yet, hit that big red sub button. It's free. It locks us in for daily Ravens videos right here on the channel. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk about guard Andrew Voorhees. Left guard to be more specific. Good Lord Almighty. With that one, he was a 7th-round selection in 2023. He had a very interesting story. I don't know if you remember everything that happened to him, but he went through a ton of adversity because he tore his ACL at the 2023 Combine. He was going into the draft. Now, he wasn't going to be a 1st or 2nd rounder, but people were saying he was going to be an early to mid day 3 pick, and he ended up going in the final round. Drafted in the 7th round by Baltimore. He started last season at that left guard position, beat out Ben Cleveland and Patrick McCarry. Then he was sidelined for weeks 4 and 5 with an ankle injury. And after that, when Patrick McCarry went in to fill in for him during injury, he only got 60 snaps for the rest of the season. 60 snaps in the last, 12 weeks of 2024. They felt like Patrick McCarry was doing better. Now, Patrick McCarry's gone. He's enjoying greener pastures in Jacksonville, which, have fun trying to win anything there. But you look at this room now, and I don't think it's going to change much, right? I think it's going to be Stanley at left tackle, Linderbaum at center, Falele at right guard, Roger Rosegard at right tackle. But that left guard spot, I think it is fully up for grabs between him or Ben Cleveland. This is the year for him to cement himself. He tried to do it last year. He got injured, and then someone came in and took his spot right out from under him. This is the year that if he's going to ever have this starting spot, this is the year he's going to show everybody this one deserves to be mine. Now, I will say, if Ben Cleveland ends up winning that battle, and it's back-to-back years for Andrew Voorhees of being beaten out in the middle of the season by Patrick McCarry and being beaten out in the preseason by Ben Cleveland, he might just, be a depth piece on the offensive line for the rest of his career, which isn't a bad thing. But we're looking for starters right here on the Baltimore Ravens. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. You need to have a lot of confidence in your offensive line. Who starts out of those two guys? Do you think it's Voorhees? Do you think it's Cleveland? Make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Type their initials, so give me an AV or a BC. Up next, we got Beau Braid. Let's talk defense again. Beau Braid is a guy that I really loved watching play in the preseason last year. He might have been my favorite. Him and Dayton Wade were, if you remember. I know preseason 2024, there is not much excitement with it, but he was a little ray of sunshine for me. When you look at the safety room, Malachi Starks, obviously, is going to be your starter after Ardarius Washington went down. Kyle Hamilton, obviously, no one's ever going to start over him because I think he's the best defensive player in football. And then you look at the top of the depth pieces, Sanusi Kane and Beau Braid. And it feels like if Beau Braid cannot take advantage of the Ardarius Washington hole, the Ardarius Washington injury, and he can't take that step this year, then I don't know if he'll ever be able to. And again, I'm not saying I don't think he'll ever be able to be a really big help, a good depth piece, like I said about Andrew Voorhees, but he's got a clear path to have a lot of really, really good minutes this year, a lot of really great snaps, a really important role. And if he can't take advantage of that, then, I don't know what more can be done for him. Now, he wasn't drafted, if you remember. He signed as an undrafted free agent from 2024, went to the University of Maryland, and so he is a Terp through and through. But this is going to be the year for Beau Braid. With Ardarius Washington sidelined for the entirety of the year with that Achilles injury. If Beau Braid's going to make a name for himself, if he's going to cement himself in this roster as maybe not an every down starter, but a guy who comes in and can help out a ton on the defense, 2024 is the time to do it. Let's talk about Mark Andrews now, okay? A name that I know is going to stir up a little bit of drama when talking about this list and talking about this subject and talking about Mark Andrews. He's not in the same category as the others, okay? This is not the same as Beau Braid, as Andrew Voorhees, who are fighting for starting spots. Some even fighting for roster spots, okay? But with that being said, you got to remember, this is a contract year for Mark Andrews. This is the final year on his deal with the Baltimore Ravens. And it's a contract year for Isaiah Likely as well. We've talked about this pretty recently. It feels like they're only going to pay one of them. Only one of those guys is going to get a bag. I don't think with all the other players they have to pay, I don't think they're going to pay two tight ends, especially when one of them is going to be turning 30 years old. And I hate putting labels on those two guys. Hate labeling one of them tight end 1. Hate labeling one of them tight end 2. Because I think they're going to get very similar targets, very similar receptions. I think that they are going to run a lot of 12 personnel, so they're both going to be on the field a lot, like at the exact same time. So I don't know if you can ever say one of them is going to be tight end 1 or tight end 2, at least going into the season. But it feels like now or never for Mark Andrews. As in, if he doesn't make it impossible not to be paid this year, then this will be his final year in Baltimore. Okay? Unless he absolutely goes nuclear. And Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh have no choice but to give him the money that he's asking for. Unless that happens, it might be our last time seeing Mark Andrews in a Baltimore Ravens uniform. Take a guess for me down there in the comment section. Will Mark Andrews be a Raven in 2026? Give me a yes. Give me a no. Simple yes or no. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below what your answer is. While y'all are down there, you're going to see this link for chatsports.com/purple t-shirt. That'll take you to our friends over at Fanatics where you can get this Ravens t-shirt $15 off. It is a wonderful deal. Go over there, check it out right now. I know it's hot in Maryland. It is hot down here in Dallas, Texas. I can promise you that. That's why I'm wearing a t-shirt today at work. Because if I don't, I'm going to sweat my butt off. I know it gets warm up there. Chatsports.com/Ravens, /purple t-shirt is where you need to go. Look the best, feel the best, support the best over here with our friends at Fanatics. That link's in the comments and description of today's video. Let's round this one out with an Ofe. And I know it says linebacker there, but he's technically an outside linebacker. In reality, we all know him just kind of as more of an edge rusher because that's pretty much the only thing that he does. And I will say it's something a little bit similar more to Mark Andrews than the others when it comes to Ofe. You got to remember, it's been a long time, since 2021. When he was drafted, I couldn't drink alcohol yet, but he was a first-round pick, right? He's a first-rounder. I feel like a lot of people forget that. Now, I will admit, last year was a really, really great year for Ofe. It was his best year, and it wasn't even close. He was a double-digit sack getter, 39 tackles. Now, I would like to see a little bit more pressures, would like to see a little bit of a higher quarterback pressure percentage, but let's be real about Owe. He's got the ability to do something he hasn't done yet, and that's stack together 2 really good seasons. Okay? And if he can do that, have another really good year, have another double-digit sack year at his age, I know he put on all the muscle. People are really excited about him. People are really expecting of him. He's going to get paid. I can promise you that. He's an edge rusher. He's fast. He's athletic. He's young. Those guys give money. But if he doesn't, and if he regresses, it's going to be a really, really hard year and really, really hard decision for Baltimore to make. I mean, look at the weight this guy put on. He's preparing to have a really good season. He's not a speed rusher, I would say, but he definitely relies on athleticism. So now the fact that he's athletic, he's fast, he's got that muscle, he's got that strength, like, he's got a really good chance to really, really impress a lot of people in the 2025 NFL season. I am on social media. If you didn't know, you can find me at Joey Petersen8 on both of those platforms. Shout out to everybody who has followed me over the past year or so of covering this team. Make sure you're subscribed, okay? This is the place I am most concerned with you following. I'd rather you be subscribed here than follow me on social media. So if you're not both and you're just going to do one, then do me a favor. Hit that big red sub button. There we go. 3 segments down, 1 more to go. Y'all let me know, will Mark Andrews be a Raven in 2026? Type yes or type no. Tim says absolutely not. He says we should have traded him. Christian says hopefully. Mr. Fred says no. Still waiting on Owe monster season, says Mr. Fred. Same Green should start. Oh, Yamel says, I'm hyped for Mike Green. I am very, very excited for Mike Green as well.
Might be steal the draft right there.
Okay, Lopez, I don't know if y'all heard him, just said Mike Green, steal of the draft. You like that pick?
I was very jealous of that pick when the Ravens made it.
Yeah, I was very, very excited about it. Obviously, it comes with a caveat. He's got the whole legal situation.
Yeah.
It's the reason he fell to 59. But he did fall, and you did scoop him up. I had him going in there, Lopez. I made a list of dream scenarios. Literally, like, I think the morning of the draft, I did a List 5 logo reveal. And I think my number one thing was, like, so excited I'll jump out a window, Ravens draft Mike Green. Like, it was something like that. Like, I wanted him so badly. And it ended up happening perfect. Let me go back and find that on the channel.
So what window did you jump out of? 'Cause I haven't seen any broken windows.
I'm still working on doing it. Yeah, I'm still working my way up to it. Okay. Let's see. I'm going into my video from the day of the draft. Dream selection, Mike Green. That's what it said. And then it said, if I had to bet, Malachi Starks.
2 for 2.
So I kind of crushed it.
2 for 2.
I kind of crushed it. Alrighty. How are we doing on questions?
Let me see.
Make sure to keep getting those questions in. We're about to go into our mailbag segment.
Okay, we got 20.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, I gotta find that one that you said you
Yeah.
really liked. I think we're just gonna
Just
start with
like do your best to try to shuffle before you repeat, like before you go back to other
Yeah.
people. Yeah. And then this will be keep it somewhere around 12. Yeah, you can throw that last question up at like 11 minutes. That should be good.
Let me get the stopwatch.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, make sure to get your questions in. Use hashtag Ravens, or if you want to guarantee that question goes in today's show, make sure to super chat, $1, $2, $3 super chat. That's all we need to guarantee your spot in the mailbag. We're about to get into it, but once we start it, that doesn't mean the questions have to stop. Keep using hashtag Ravens. If producer Lopez sees them and he likes them and he thinks they're good enough for the mailbag, he'll go ahead and throw them in there, and I'll get those answered as well. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, hanging out with us. Make sure to keep liking today's video. We're at 57 likes, which is awesome. Make sure to keep getting that going. Keep hitting that thumbs up button. If you have not yet, we really do appreciate it. It helps us a ton. You don't even know. So, without further ado, are we ready to roll? He believes so. Okay. Ravens Rundown Mailbag is coming to you right now. It is time for everybody's favorite segment. It is the Ravens Rundown Mailbag. Today, we answer your questions on all the latest Ravens rumors and news items that you've got from the entirety of this offseason. Of course, looking forward into the 2025 season. I got a challenge for you guys, though, before we get into today's question, okay? The Noti flock, which is what we call everybody who has their notifications turned on, not off. That's at 3.9 thousand people. That's a lot. Really, really appreciative of every single one of you guys. I want to know, can we get to 4,000 today? The way you do that, hit that subscribe button, click that bell, and click all. And then, of course, go onto your device and enable YouTube notifications from the app itself. Make sure to hit those bells, subscribe to the channel. That way, whenever we go live, whenever we put out a video, you guys can be the first one in there, first one commenting, and you guys can be a real one. First question is from Attendance Squad. Hashtag Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. What do you think Lamar's stats will be for Week 1 Buffalo Bills game? Also, what is your preferred uniform combination for this game? Okay, let's talk about it. I think Lamar's going to have a really, really good night. I don't think it's going to be insane. If you remember last year, like his Week 1, it wasn't anything unbelievable. I don't think it's going to be like 404 touchdowns. I'd be shocked if he didn't throw more than 2, or 2 or more, I mean. I think he's going to probably get like 250 through the air, 2 touchdowns throwing. I wouldn't be surprised if he added like 60 yards rushing onto that. I just think they're going to kind of try game 1 to incorporate everybody. And obviously we know they're going to go to Derrick Henry a lot as well. So that's kind of my thoughts for him. I think he's going to have just a really efficient night, though. I don't think he's going to make a lot of mistakes. Preferred uniform combination, you got to think it's going to be on the road in Buffalo. I know they wore the all-whites in the playoff game, but I really like the all-whites. So give me all-whites for the road game against Buffalo in Week 1. Mike Nintendo Master, hashtag Ravens. What Ravens player will step up this season? Has to be year 2 or higher on being in the NFL. Well, I think Devontae Walker might be my initial answer there. I'm really, really excited about what Devontae Walker has shown throughout minicamp. He's gotten a ton of people talking about him, turned a ton of eyes onto him, and I'm really excited to see him. I think that, there you go, right there. Shout out to producer Nick. 6'1", 191 pounds, 1,620 yards, 18 touchdowns his final 2 seasons of collegiate football. And then that last year, missed a third of the season in 2023 with UNC because of stupid NCAA transfer rules. I think another guy to look out for is Isaiah Likely. Okay? Because I don't want to say, like, he didn't step up last year, but after the game against the Chiefs, in the regular season, he had like one other game over 60 yards. So I think he'll step up and just have a little bit more of a consistent season. That's kind of what I'm looking for with Isaiah Likely. I think that's what he's going to give me. So if I had to answer that question for 2 people, be Devontae Walker and Isaiah Likely. Lamar Jackson lover coming in. What's the craziest trade that could happen for the Ravens? Ooh, that is a good one. I think like a trade for Micah Parsons. I don't know. Trade for like Garrett Wilson maybe. Maybe they feel like they need a better wide receiver than Zay Flowers. I don't know. Like I think those are the 2 really big ones that kind of hit me right off the bat because they made a big move on the outside of the cornerback spot with Jair Alexander. They made, another, not big move, but they added DeAndre Hopkins. I think somebody trading for an edge rusher like a Micah Parsons. I don't want to say TJ Watt because, like, it's the Steelers. They're not going to trade you TJ Watt. But I would say, like, an edge rusher trade, maybe Micah, or trading for Garrett Wilson. Those are, like, the craziest ones, in my opinion. Give me some chaos down below. What's the craziest trade that you think could happen for the Baltimore Ravens? Get in the comment section. Get creative for me, and let me know your answer. Next up, we got Christian Coveney. What's going on, Christian? What do you think is a good compensation for Mark Andrews? Well, if you're talking trade compensation, you got to talk about compensatory draft picks as well. Because when he goes, if he goes, I should say, and signs somewhere else in free agency after this season, he doesn't get a contract extension, you'll get a compensatory draft pick for him, right? And I think that's going to be somewhere around a 4th rounder. So if you're asking for what good trade compensation is for Mark Andrews, then I think that's where you have to start. So good compensation for me is like a 3rd round pick. Now, you could maybe get a 4th at the trade deadline, like if they feel like he's not having the season that they thought he was going to, because you'd argue you'd get that draft pick in 2026 instead of the comp pick, which you get in 2027. There's a whole lot to it, but I think if I'm just going straight off the cuff, I think 3rd is great compensation for Mark Andrews. I think a 4th rounder is good, but I don't think it's good enough for them to do it. Up next, we got Jameer Castro. I think the Ravens should add someone to the roster or leave it like it is right now. I wouldn't mind them adding a safety. At the point of recording this video, they have yet to add a safety in free agency. And at the point of recording this video, Justin Simmons, Julian Blackmon, Jordan Whitehead, all those guys are still available. And so I would say that's it. I would love to add an interior defensive lineman. The only thing that is a bummer is there's just not many good ones left. So they're kind of gone. Yeah, other than that, I mean, this is, I think, the best roster in football. One of the reasons it's the best roster in football is because of our quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And if you want to get his jersey, you can go to chatsports.com/Lamar jersey right now and get it. I know we talked about the all-whites earlier, but they got it in purple. They got it in black. I know the all-black uniforms are super, super sick. This is an investment, okay? And if you are a kid listening to this and you want to convince your mom or dad to buy you a jersey, just tell them this. It's an investment. He's going to be here for a very, very long time. You're going to be able to wear this jersey for a very, very long time. So go to chatsports.com/Lamar jersey. Make sure you make your purchase through that link. Help us out. That link's going to be in the comments and description of today's video. Espresso VR. What are the reactions on Jalen Ramsey? A great question. Well, Espresso, I actually made a video on it the day of the trade, so Monday. You can go back and look at it right there. My initial reaction is I think I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to happen. But also, like, they gave up Minka, who I think, A, is younger, and B, might be a little bit more important to that defense just because of, like, the quarterback role that he plays on the field itself. And so it's interesting from that perspective. Obviously, they felt like Jalen Ramsey is better than Minkah Fitzpatrick or would serve them better. But my reaction is always going to stay the same about Pittsburgh. If they're going to do anything, it's because of Aaron Rodgers. And so they can add as many guys as they want on defense. If they don't have good quarterback play, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. So that's kind of how I feel. Lamar 2025 champ says, #Ravens, aren't we better off keeping Andrews as a blocker and using Likely for passing plays? Is it worth keeping him on the team, but maybe less balls thrown his way? If you're going to keep him just as a blocker, then like Charlie Kolar is just as good of a blocker as Mark Andrews is. And he's a hell of a lot cheaper. And so I would say, no, it's not worth it just keeping him. And also because, like, you can use Likely and Andrews for passing plays. I don't know if you know this, Mark Andrews led this team in receiving touchdowns in 2024. Like, he can still do that. But the whole talks about him being traded and the whole, like, reason that's discussed is because he's going to be a free agent anyway, and he's 29, about to be 30. You need to know, and you don't know yet, if the best years are behind him. D1 Ravens Glazer 8 said, #Ravens, trade Andrews for Tyreek Hill, rotate him with DeAndre. I don't hate it. The thing is like Tyreek Hill is making so much money this year and the next year and the year after that. And so I don't think it's smart to offload an already expensive contract with Mark Andrews for just another one in Tyreek Hill. Also, like, you just paid Bateman. I think you're going to pay Flowers next summer. I just don't know how necessary that would be because you got to pay guys like Linderbaum. You got to pay guys like Hamilton. You got to pay guys on the defensive side of the ball, like possibly Odafe Owe. Like, there's just so many things that need to get figured out that I don't know if Tyreek Hill and that money that he makes would make sense in this roster. Up next, we got Jacko. Said, #Ravens, we need to steal away Simmons from joining Pittsburgh. Could it happen financially without ruining Lindy, Hammy, and Likely deals? I don't know. Because they're going to commit a lot of money. And I would say, yes, it could happen, but you would have to backload the Linderbaum, the Hamilton, and Likely deals, which I think is what a lot of people are doing nowadays, especially as we know the salary cap is just going to continue to go up. So if their cap numbers are a little bit bigger later, like, it's not that big of a deal, but it would be a little bit tough sledding. Eric DeCosta would have to kind of get in his bag and make that happen. King Henry's arm says, what was your favorite play from the 2024 season? #Ravens. Favorite play comes to mind. It's against that team that Derrick Henry is stiff-arming in that profile picture. It's against the Bengals. Lamar Jackson avoiding the sack. I believe it was Sam Hubbard. Goes to the sideline. Throws it while jumping out of bounds. Isaiah Likely touchdown. I think that is probably my favorite play from 2024. It was electric. I was live for it. I think I was freaking out about it. Like, it was a ton of fun to watch, just like most Lamar Jackson plays are. Let's take a trip down memory lane. You let me know yours. What was your favorite play from the 2024 season? Give me your answer because you just heard mine, and do it in the comment section down below. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys for joining us like you do every single Tuesday. Make sure you got me followed on social media as well. You got me on Instagram. You got me on Twitter. And also make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It's the best place to be if you guys want daily content on your Baltimore Ravens. We do that right here, and it's all 100% free. YouTube.com/RavensTV. Join us today. Wow, there we go.
That was easy.
Easy money. 4 up, 4 down. Less than an hour 10. Sorry, guys, if it felt a little rushed today. I'm leaving on Friday. So that means we had today, tomorrow, Thursday to get ready to get a bunch of stuff out also for next week on vacation. So, sorry if we rushed through that. We just got to get some stuff done. And appreciate you guys for hanging out with me on this awesome Tuesday. A little bit of a reminder, we will not be live. I will not be live next Tuesday, so y'all will miss me then. We will be back the Tuesday after that, which I believe is, today's July 1st, so July 15th. That is the next time you're going to see me. Until then, I hope you guys have an awesome 4th of July. Enjoy the fireworks, enjoy the cookouts, the hot dogs, the beer, the Crown Vanilla, whatever your drink is of choice. Let's end today's show by hitting that like button if you are excited for Independence Day. Lopez, are you a fan of fireworks?
I love fireworks.
Dude, who doesn't?
They're fire. Literally. They're literally.
Like, there's nothing like them. There's just not.
I think it's because we don't get them so many times out of the year.
I
so
agree.
It's like you only get them 2 days out of the year.
I agree. If we got them more often, I think they'd lose a little bit of their luster, But because we only get them once a year, because it's like you're feeling, patriotic that day, they're mesmerizing. I remember last year, Kennedy and I went to one of my buddies. His parents have a house in Fredericksburg, Texas, and we did that for the long weekend. Went to they were all out of town, so I was like, hey, can we go hang out? And they're like, yeah. So we're driving on 4th of July night, and we saw no fireworks, which kind of sucked. It's kind of sad. So hopefully I'll get them again. We'll see what Montana is cooking up. Okay, Lopez, you ready to roll?
I'm on your schedule.
Okay, let's go ahead and get out of here. Again, appreciate all of you guys for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. God bless the United States of America. For producer Lopez, my name's Joey Petersen. Y'all have a wonderful day, and God bless.